Hello YouTube! It is Toy Adventures here again with another figure review, and today is a extra different type of review. Typically on this channel I'm known for, at least review-wise, being mainly Jurassic Park, maybe some Halo, rarely Godzilla, like it's mainly dinosaur focused. So only recently have I started to introduce Gundam, and I only, barely introduced them with the Godzilla series, and then I did the entry grade review. Well, today I'm doing a review on something special. I haven't seen a lot of reviews on this line in particular, just, mainly the bigger Gundam channels that would review it, but if you wanted reviews on some of the other figures, it was hard to find, and especially on this one. And I managed to get him pretty early. So today we are taking a look at the Gundam Military Generations Char Aznable. Wait, we're missing something here. There we go. Alright, now this feels like a little bit more of a complete set. So, today we're taking a look at the Red Comet himself. For those of you that didn't know, I'm mainly Jurassic Park, but I recently got into Gundam, and when I say got into Gundam, I meant I stepped in quicksand and quickly sunk to my death. I got into this fandom just like a couple months ago. Not a couple months ago, more like 5 or 6 months ago, and I've completely sunk. It's completely enveloped me, and I'm sure you guys can tell now that it's starting to make an appearance on the channel. Obviously, I'm always going to be a Jurassic Park YouTuber, but I like to do some different stuff once in a while, and introduce some of my other interests to you guys, because while we all love dinosaurs here, we all like other stuff too. So, and I know a lot of you guys are Halo fans, and typically Gundam American, at least Western Gundam fans tend to be also Halo fans. Not usually the other way around. Not all Halo fans are Gundam fans, but most Western Gundam fans are also Halo fans. They're very similar series, and they have very similar audiences. So this is the Red Comet. He is an ace from the first Gundam series and Zeta, and then, if you know him, you know him, but if not, this is a ace pilot. He pilots, this guy right here and this guy right here. These are giant mechs that fight in a big intergalactic war. It's a lot to get into right now. I'm not going to go over the entire storyline of Gundam, but basically he is the antagonist, kind of, more of an anti-hero of the series. So yeah, he's a total fan favorite character. As you can see, I have quite an affinity for him as well. So we are taking a look at a 1/118 scale superposable figure of him, and as you guys know, I'm big in the 1/118 scale line, so this line is a blessing to me. And this is not the only entry I have in this line. I actually have quite a few of the Fetty and Zeon troops. We'll take a look at those in a little bit. But I wanted to review this one in particular because it is Char. He is the popular character, and he's brand new, so I know everyone's looking to to see a review on him. So, taking a look at the box first, we have this nice tan for the front of the box with this large red Z for Zeon. You have the Zeon logo down there. It says GMG. You have GMG, Gundam Military Generations, Char Aznable, 06 by Mega House. You have the official Gundam sticker right there. You usually have those on Godzilla stuff too. And you have a bunch of legal jargon down here at the bottom. Taking a look at the side, you have a nice picture of Char right there, the actual figure. It says Char Aznable, Gundam Military Generation 06. Taking a look at the other side, you have a nice full body image of the figure right there, Char without his helmet. And taking a look at the back, this is certainly, a lot fancier than your standard Jurassic Park back of the box. So here we have a full image of the figure, all the accessories. You get the little rock that you would see mainly in his pose, like the statue of Char Aznable, also made by Mega House. They have that rock, so you can recreate that pose. You have two rifles right here, a cup, his little journal, a pistol, ladders to get somewhere, and the time bombs that were placed on the Gundam in that one episode. And here you have the two pictures of him with and without his helmet. You have various other scenes. I did not get the two pilots. They just really didn't speak to me. If I wanted a Zeon pilot, I would want like a generic guy pilot, not either an overweight guy with an eye patch, or, I would probably get the female because she's a little more generic. But the overweight guy with the eye patch is kind of like a specific look. And if I would want... Oh, my package is a little damaged right there. You know, if I would want it, I would just want a generic guy. So down here you have images from the old 0079 show. I finished the entire actual series, and now I'm starting to watch the movies. So, and I much prefer the movies. If you guys are going to start getting into Gundam, I suggest watching the movie versions of the original 0079 series. It's much easier to take in, a little less saccharine and goofy. You know how early cartoons used to be. A little less filler, actually a lot less filler. So that's how I suggest to watch it. You can find them right now on Netflix, but you are gonna have to deal with subtitles. Big deal. I think the acting is actually much better with subtitles, so I can still enjoy it. It's just, you can't necessarily build Gundam, read, and you watch, so it's something you gotta sit down and actually watch. Because usually I'll build and watch stuff. So, yeah. Rambling aside, that is the box. Now let's go ahead and get Char out of there. Also, I forgot to mention there is a little window. You can see the actual figure there, but you guys could see that, right? Right. Okay, let's get him out. Alright, so here we have Casval, completely unboxed with all his accessories around him. Now, before we get on to the actual accessories, there is the hands we have to talk about. 2 standard holding hands that you could use for the gun or whatever you want. 2 relaxed open palm hands, and 1 gripping hand, I assume, for his little sword right there on the belt, that little gun sword thing, whatever it's supposed to be. I think it's both. I think it's a gun sword. I've seen it being used as both. He comes with these 2 machine guns. Now, these are not the ones that came with the Zeon soldiers. Neither of them came with these 2 variations, so these are 2 new weapons for him. The little Luger type pistol right here did, I believe, come with the other guys, but I cannot say for sure, so I will have to go and double check. And here is his unmasked face. But it seems on mine there is no issues. So that is nice. You also have the little box full of the time bombs that they would be placed on the Gundam to blow it up. You have Casval's journal, which has a thrilling entry of nothing. You get a little cup of tea with some tea in there that he can big sip. And he comes with the rock, the ladder right here that you can do whatever you want with. This is just like a random accessory in my opinion. And you get the rock you can use as a stand. There are no pegs for the feet, and the feet do not have pegs on them, so you would have to actually pose it and try and get them to stand. Now, he comes with 2 fisted hands attached, so let's go ahead and attach some proper holding hands so we can actually get him to interact with his accessories. So, here we have Char Aznable. Wow. It's so cool to actually have a 3 3/4 inch representation of him. So before we do anything else, let's go ahead and go over quality control, because that has been kind of an issue with this line, especially for the price. The figures don't always come out looking perfect, and this one is a prime example. If you look right there on the chest, his little symbols are very distorted. They should have black in between each and every one of those. There should be like black lines going through that, but it's just one big golden glob. The lines are a little bit more noticeable on this side, but here they're completely washed out. You can see how the lines should look up here with these. That's what it should look like down here, but obviously longer, but they are not quite as nicely painted. I can't remember what these called on here on the shoulders. It's the word on the top of my tongue. I know you guys are going to tell me in the comments, but these are pretty nice. The paint on them is good, pretty solid. Coming down here to the cape, it is a nice soft rubbery vinyl material, so it won't be in the way, and it can move with the articulation. And the belt looks to be pretty good, although I'm pretty sure, oh no, okay, so the belt does have some issues down here at the bottom. I'm sure if you had white paint, I could do this as well. You just touch it up. You just have to make sure the white paint matches the belt already there. And you could probably touch it up right there because there is a little bit of paint missing at the bottom. This comes out a little easy. Normally with the accessories that hook onto the belts, I glue them on, but since this is meant to be removed, I'm not obviously going to do that. So, big sad. Taking a look here at the arms, you can see tiny little like faint signs of red paint splotch. So it's not absolutely crisp, but it is, in my opinion, good enough. Although it is kind of sad for the price. That you also have a little bit right here. And the white paint specifically on the leg right here, right at the boot, is quite bad. If you take a nice close look, let's see if I can get it in there. You can see that this is where the boot sculpt ends, and this is where the paint keeps going over the leg. A little sloppy, especially for a $50 3 3/4 inch action figure. You should really not be seeing this kind of stuff. You don't see this stuff with Marauders pretty much ever, and they are far cheaper figures. So for this and for such a prominent series, I think it is a little embarrassing, just a little, because the figure overall is still great. It's just these little paint details are very strange, especially because Madhouse is usually the type of company that makes those really detailed anime statues. So I don't know why they're screwing up on these articulated figures. Maybe they're not quite as experienced with 3 3/4 inch articulated figures. Maybe this Gundam line is what's really teaching them. Well, you guys need to tighten up the paint a bit and definitely put a little more attention into it, because, you know, this is a key character and has some of the worst issues I have out of all my figures, at least paint wise. I haven't had this bad, but again, it's not like it's horrible. It's very tolerable. It's just, you know, not quite $50 level tolerable, if you get my drift. But I'm happy nonetheless because I have a 3 3/4 inch rendition of Char Aznable. And the paint is still really good, especially right there on the neck. It's good and it can be sloppy. It's a bit of both. So yeah. Anyway, moving on, let's go over this guy's articulation, because oh boy, that is where these Madhouse Gundam figures really excel. These are some of the most articulated 1/118 scale figures I've ever seen. They beat Joey Toy, they beat Marauders, they certainly beat Mattel. And yeah, these guys, at least articulation wise, these guys are pretty much on top. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to go over all the articulation. I'm probably going to miss one or two just because of how crazy it is. So, beginning at the top, here at the neck, there's a ball joint in the actual neck, head connecting to the neck. So you get full range of motion there. And then there is another ball joint connecting the neck into the torso. That gives you a little bit more motion, so you can look down about that far. You know, Char's in his mood, he's in his feelings. And then you can have him look up, up, up. If you are one of the lucky few, you know, the blessed entitled race that has the 1/12 Zaku, you could have him looking up at his Zaku. You know, it's not in scale at all, but it's the closest thing other than the 1/24 scale. Yeah, the 1/24 scale. Closest thing to a 1/118 scale Gundam, though that and the 1/12. So the 1/24 or 1/12 is, I don't know if they make the 1/24 Zaku. I know they make the 1/12, but I don't know about the 1/24. You guys are going to have to let me know down in the comments. Anyway, getting off topic. So, moving down here to the shoulders, there are 2 butterfly joints in each shoulder. So you have full forward and backward movement. You can move the shoulders about that far. And then you have a ball joint connecting into that, allowing for crazy movement, 360 degrees rotation at the shoulder. That connects into a peg right here in the arm that also allows for 360 degree motion. So you have a ton of movement here in the shoulder. That is followed up by a double elbow joint right here, allowing for crazy movement into the chest. He can fully touch his chest. He can touch his nose. He can face palm. He can do all these cool poses that you would want. You know, not just action poses, but funny, cool poses, funny, goofy poses, whatever you want. And then moving down here to the arm, you have a 360-degree rotation and a hinge at the wrist. And sadly not up and down, it is back and forth. That is better for a typical action figure. Up and down is better for a, you know, military action figure because it lets them hold the rifle at a proper angle. So that's the articulation in the arms. Of course, it's, you know, same in bolt. So crazy articulation going on down there in the arms. The body is at a one ball joint down here, right at the abdomen. So you get, yep, 360-degree motion down there at the abdomen. And then you also have another ball joint, I believe, down there at the waist. So not quite rotation. Oh, wait. Yep, you do get full rotation out at the waist too. And so you do get a ton of ab crunch. So looking up, up, up is very easy. Very, very cool. Then coming down here at the leg, you have a ball peg right there that kicks up that far. The skirt is soft vinyl rubber, a very soft material, so it does allow for a lot of articulation. It doesn't push the leg back down. That is very impressive. So you can really have him kick just about as high as the Zaku can, which is awesome. And then you have a rotation down here at the thigh that goes a full 360 degrees. Double knee joint, yes. And just to finish it off, you have a ankle peg right here that offers a ton of movement. You can kick up about that far. You can bring it down all the way down to there, and then just to top it off, just as the cherry on top, you got a toe articulation point. So this guy is absolutely maxed out. Full articulated figure. This is more than Joy Toy even does. So these figures are absolutely nuts. The amount of poses you guys can pull off with these is, for the most part, endless. Let's be real, it's endless what you can do with this guy. And oh yeah, getting him to stand is not the hardest thing in the world, but it is a little tricky. I think they should have done peg holes in the feet, just so you could put it on a stand if you wanted to. Otherwise, this thing is at the mercy of your shelf. If it rumbles a little too much, he's gonna topple over. There's no alternative for that. So let's try out his accessories. He comes with his journal. How can he hold it? The answer is, of course, yes. You can have Casval relax. Let's make this leg look a little bit more natural. Yeah, that does not look natural. That's just So as you can see, you can pull off some crazy good poses with this guy. His accessories do fit in his hand. I'm pretty sure this hand is meant for like the sword gun thing. But I found the easiest way to hold this little teacup is to just squeeze his finger into the little rim of the handle. And you can get him to hold it quite convincingly. And with a bit of class, may I add. Holding it with just one finger. Char is a man of class, a man of nobility nonetheless. So it is very fitting for him to hold it as such. Changing out the heads is real simple on these figures. You just pop it off, take your other head, pop it on. Now the connection may be a little finicky. With some of these heads, I've had heads that just straight up do not stay on, and I may have to use a little hot glue to keep them in the peg. And then I've had heads that don't have any issue. Now here's a really cool part about this. Let's say you want Char, you know, with his helmet in his arms. Now obviously you can't do that with the whole head. That would look weird, right? That's why you take the head and you pull the face out of the helmet. And then one minor issue I am having with him, of course, is the standing problem, but that is quite easily remedied. You just got to work with him a little bit extra than the other figures. You can get him to stand. It's not a huge issue, but yeah. So that is an awesome feature. That is also a feature on the other soldiers. You can take the heads out of the helmet if you want them to hold their helmet while switching out the heads. So that is an excellent little feature. Here is his helmet on its own. You have your little plug right there for the head. So that is super cool. Let's switch out. Oh wait, while we have the hand in, let's put this little thing in here. I don't believe he actually came with instructions to look at. The other soldiers did. So let me take a look around to see how you're supposed to hold this. Okay, so funny enough, let's just see if I can a little more in the frame. Anyway, apparently you're not even supposed to hold it. It's just supposed to be an accessory for the hip, which is kind of odd. Fair enough, he doesn't use it that much at all. But still, it would have been nice. It's kind of a weapon of his. So it's a little strange. It's not technically supposed to be usable. You could still pose him with it like this. You know, he's doing that whole from Origin, shooting that dude's hand. So you can still use it. It's just not officially supposed to be that way. You know what I mean? So yeah, putting that back on the hip. Let's switch out the hand. Oh wait, so on the back of the box, it said you're supposed to hold a teacup like this. I mean, it shows like the little animation shot, but as you can see, it really does not want to get in there and stay in there. Let's try sliding it in from the bottom. Now you see, every time it wants to droop down. So I mean, you can have it be done. Look at that. See, it can be done either way. I just think the finger method is a little more secure and looks a little more natural. But ultimately, it will be up to you. He looks kind of like an old man right here. It's ultimately up to you. Oh, that's a good pose. How you want to pose your Char. Like that, the Federation's coming. Well, it's time to arm him. Obviously, we don't have a Zaku for him to pilot, so he's going to have to use some classic weaponry. He's got his trusty Luger lookalike. Just a cool little pistol. I'm not sure if it is the same as the standard release, but we'll do that when we do the comparisons at the end. So yeah, he held it just perfectly fine. And then you have this submachine gun type weapon that easily slides right into his hand, because his hands are a very malleable, nice rubber material that just easily bends to other weapons. I'm assuming you hold it by the mag right here. A very, very reminiscent of the MP40 type weapon. Very MP40-like. As you know, the Xeon take a lot of Germanic inspiration in terms of their uniform and design. Mainly World War II Germanic, but you kind of see a little bit of World War I in there as well. It's not just World War II. So, and then this little rifle with a scope, he can also hold effortlessly, and he can shoulder it effortlessly. Getting jumbled on my words over here. As you can see, he can hold it completely convincingly. Even aim down the scope. I absolutely love it when figures can do that. This guy didn't even need to, because Char never really uses two-handed rifle weapons. Mainly, you know, like in battle, like in this outfit, mainly, you know, at the end he does, but in normal battle he's usually using his pistol or he's in his mobile suit. So didn't need to do that, but the fact that he still can is still great, because all the figures in this line have great articulation, and I can't wait to see what they do further with this line. So, this little ladder is his next accessory, and it is a ladder, of course. You can pose him on it, you know, doing the step, doing the walk up. Let's try and do a quick little pose with him. You get the point, right? Yeah, it's a ladder. He can walk up it. Wave to the camera. So that's cool, kind of strange, kind of a waste of an accessory if you ask me, but you didn't ask me. So yeah, that's just what I think. I don't really understand why I came with it. So yeah. And then there's these time bombs, which are cool accessories, except for the fact that he can't really hold them or use them. Let's try with the open palm hand, because that's really the only hand that has a chance of possibly using these. So we just get them in there, and then let's see. Nope, he cannot hold them. So unfortunately, you're gonna have to have the pose where he's already set them down, and you can kind of put them like on a surface, and then you put his hand like that. That's about the pose you're gonna have to do with it, because he can't hold the time bombs. And this thing doesn't have a top to it, which is really inconvenient. So all these tiny little time bomb accessories are going absolutely launched into orbit with one accidental move. If this gets flung out and these things go flying, good luck finding these tiny little bombs all over in your carpet. It's not going to be fun. And then you have to align them all. So these are still a cool accessory because they do have relevance in the series, so I still enjoy them. The journal is always cool because, you know, they offer interesting and dynamic pictures. The same with the cup. These are just unique accessories. And the rock, I don't know if I really consider this a cool accessory. It's kind of neat that you can recreate the statue, but I would just get the statue if I wanted that pose, you know what I mean? It's cool, but I don't know. I feel like there could have been a different accessory that might have been a little better. I'm thinking maybe if they sacrificed the ladder and the rock, maybe even the time bombs, or giving that to a different character, maybe we could have gotten for the rest of the series, you know, the two other pilots, a pilot seat for Char, for his Zaku. That would have been really cool and would have totally made up for the lack of other two accessories. I don't know, I feel like it would have been a little bit more relevant. They did it with Sayla, so I wish they would have done it with Char. And I'm really excited to see what accessories are going to be with the new Ramba Rao figure that just got announced. I absolutely love Ramba Rao, Ramba Ron, so I'm so excited to see what they have planned for him. Anyway, that's pretty much it for reviewing the figure itself. If I have to give it a score, paint-wise, I'm going to give it a 8 out of 10. The paint is still great. It just isn't perfect, and for its price, you kind of want it to be perfect, but it isn't. But it is still very acceptable. Especially for me, I still find it very acceptable. I've had to deal with Mattel my whole life, or for these past 3 years, so I don't even know why I said my whole life. I've had to deal with Mattel all these years, so I'm not too brutal on, you know, paint apps. In terms of what I've had to deal with, this is amazing. So now we're going to do some comparisons, because as you guys know, I'm big into 1/118 scale, so this is definitely not the only type of 1/118 scale figure I have. We're going to compare it to Marauders, we're going to compare it to Joy Toy, Mattel, and the others in the line. So let's take a look. Alright, so here we have the comparison between the other two types of soldiers. Here we have a Zeon standard soldier, and I checked, the pistols are different, very subtly, but they are different. Anyway, moving on. And here we have a Fetty Trooper. So this is how he scales in with the rest of the Gundam Military Generations line. Let's test other lines. Here's a bonus one. Here we got Char Aznable compared to the Halo figures, which are also 1/118 scale. So if you ever wanted to know how tall Char was compared to Chief, there you go. Not very tall. Next up, we have a Marauders Task Force. So even still, Marauders Task Force figures are still a little bit taller than your average 1/118 scale figure. And I say that because pretty much every figure in the 1/118 scale that you will compare to Marauders will be smaller than the Marauders. The Marauders are scaled up a little bit. I forgot what the reason was. Something about they had to avoid being the same size as G.I. Joe. Some dumb legal reason. And I don't know. They blah 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 blah. Marauders are taller than your standard figure. Moving on. Here we have a standard Mattel figure with Ray Arnold. And yeah, like standard Mattel figures are the opposite. They're a little shorter than the average. So Char is actually taller than Ray Arnold here. I don't know how tall Char would be compared to Samuel Jackson in real life, but I'm gonna assume Samuel Jackson might be taller. These Mattel figures are usually just smaller anyway. And last but not least, here he is compared with a Joy Toy figure. Once again, Joy Toy figures are a little bit taller as well. So yeah. Anyway, that is pretty much it. That's all I had to say about this figure. But I'm going to give you guys 2 more bonus comparisons. Char, there's something you don't know about Earth. Wham, 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 wham. Dun dun dun, bum bum, bum. Hey, that reminds me. Haha, I have Halo Infinite on pause right now. I've been whooping butt on the campaign. By the way, I'm gonna go back and do that some more. You guys go ahead and enjoy the rest of your week. The next toy movie will be filmed next Tuesday. Sorry I couldn't do it this week. Halo and inclement weather prevented me from doing it. I was out there and it started raining and I couldn't film. So next week, definitely a new toy movie, Godzilla. Look forward to that. And yeah, I'm gonna go get my butt back on Infinite right now.